What's going on, FA Nation? Jon Impemba here with James Grande. Welcome into the Fantasy Alarm NBA DFS podcast and live stream for Thursday's four-game main slate. James, pretty big slate here in terms of talent. We got Golden State versus Boston, Toronto, Minnesota, Brooklyn, Phoenix, Philly, Portland here. We have Minnesota's on a back-to-back. Are they the only team, I think, on a back-to-back on this slate here?
Yes, only team on a back-to-back.
Yep. Could have some returning players tonight. Maybe Jaylen Brown listed as questionable. Cam Johnson's returning. Chris Paul is listed as questionable for this game here for Phoenix. So we could have some of those guys potentially back. Gobert missed last night. Potentially he returns here in the spot against Toronto. So it'll be pretty interesting to see if any of these players who have missed games recently come back into their lineups tonight.
Yeah, and Kyrie Irving expected to return tonight after a one-game absence too. So
yep.
Brooklyn should have Kyrie back. Chris Paul did practice yesterday, but we did see that happen earlier in the year where he practiced and then just didn't play for another 2 weeks. So who knows what's going to happen with him? We shift our attention to Vegas. Boston, Golden State is the top total of the day. Opened at 236, but bet up to 239. Boston 6-point favorites at home. Toronto are now 5-point favorites in Minnesota. 231 total in that game. Slate low, Brooklyn, Phoenix 221. Phoenix getting a 1.5 at home. Maybe suggests Chris Paul won't play. We know Devin Booker's not going to play there. And then Philly, Portland in the late night game. Well, I guess both Phoenix game and the Philly game are late night hammers. But Philly, Portland, 233. Portland getting 2 at home. So
yeah, far more enticing matchup there. Philly, Portland at 10 o'clock. So we'll get into it. 4 games. So this will be quick here. Point guard positions. Get Steph and Lillard up over 10K. Curry last time against Boston here. Had 32 points, 53 fantasy points. Definitely one of the spots where we would expect them to get up, right? Finals rematch. Mm-hmm. They wiped Boston in Golden State earlier this year. Now they're going into Boston here. I would expect a good game on the Curry, even though they're going to be at full strength. You mentioned before we jumped on the pod, though, the assist numbers are really down here for Curry over the last 4 games. Draymond Green really having an impact on that. He's not even, Draymond's not scoring at all. He's just passing and rebounding at this point. So, I do look for Curry here at 10-1 if you want to kind of stack that early game, like you said. But Lillard's just been on another level. Back-to-back 40 actual, 60 fantasy points in 3 of the last 4 on DraftKings. I think if you're looking to spend up at guard, I may lean Lillard over Curry tonight.
Yeah, I think it's interesting the trend lately, and I guess this has been a trend for a while, but nobody's playing early games. Everyone wants the late night exposure. Guess what the best total on the board is tonight, John? Golden State, Boston, the early game. So it'll be interesting to see how the ownership falls in that game, and if we get word that Golden State Boston is not going to be popular, that might be a scenario where it's okay, try to jam Curry Tatum in if Jaylen Brown's not in, or get a Rob Will, or just get pieces of this puzzle, especially if it's going to, play out how Vegas is expecting. But you're correct, in your analysis, that Lillard has been on a different planet. We know this. Damian Lillard gets in those grooves, and he's unstoppable. He is just an unstoppable force. He's gone for 30-plus in 6 straight games. He's now given us 40, 36, 50 actual points in his last 4 games while shooting 55% or better and making 10-plus free throws in every game, 4-plus threes in every game. I don't know, by the way, let's sprinkle in 8, 6, 10 assists the last 3 games too. It's been unbelievable. Pretty good spot when you consider the matchups of Harden and Maxey on the other side.
Yeah, he'll probably get Melton defense tonight, don't you think?
Yeah, Melton.
Because Melton starts, they have Maxey off the bench, but not that I think Melton's just shutdown guy. I'm just saying I think that'll probably be the primary defender there. If it's Harden, Green Light City.
Melton's only been playing 20 minutes a game the last 2 nights.
Sure.
So they're starting Melton. So yeah, you could definitely see Melton start on Dame, but if he's only playing 20 minutes, Dame's playing 38. There's there's a long stretch of time that Melton won't be guarding him. So, yeah, I mean, look, I think Curry likely comes in less owned than Damian Lillard, but I think both are in play. Maybe play the lesser owned of the two, and I would say Lillard's probably your
I
captain.
wonder if we see more 3 guards out of Philly tonight. I mean, Josh Hart starting at small forward isn't
True.
the biggest guy, so
And Grant's like kind of like a smaller 4 too. He's 6'9",
yeah,
6'8", 6'9", just super athletic. So
yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Philly matches up with this one. Under 10K slightly. Obviously, Kyrie Irving's at 9,900 against Phoenix. James Harden at 98. We were all in on Harden, and then PrizePicks made him their taco play of the day, and he went 1 for 6 shooting against the Clippers here. 4th straight road game here for Philly, so definitely could be something that's to consider, right? Kind of the long road trips kind of wearing some of these guys down at times. Again, I still think it's a good spot to go back. I can't imagine Harden goes 1 for 6 again anytime soon, so if you want to spend the 9,800, I'm fine with it, and maybe because the recent game will actually keep some people off of him.
yeah, I mean, I think I prefer Kyrie to Harden tonight, but there's a case for all 4 of these guys above 9,800. Like, there's just a good case for all of them.
You like Kyrie just because he's the guy?
He's the guy. Like, look, I understand he's been bad. There's no denying that he's 7
been
of
good.
20.
He just hasn't given us the ceiling we want yet.
Well, he's kind of been bad. Like, shoot 35%, 37% from the floor. Like,
I guess I was speaking more towards fantasy points, right? 43, 40.
He's been okay. Yeah. He's been okay. Now it's like, okay, we need ceiling Kyrie.
Yeah.
But I think Phoenix is 1-7 their last 8 games. Like, they're middle of the pack defensively. Yes, they're getting Cam Johnson back, but they're starting Shamet at point guard. Like, if there's no Chris Paul, Dwayne Washington's out of their rotation.
Yeah, Shamet came back and they just sent Dwayne Washington back to the bench.
Yep, and Saban Lee played almost 30 minutes. So it's like, I like the spot for Kyrie as long as there's no Chris Paul. Even if there is Chris Paul, Chris Paul at this point, I don't think he can do anything that would stop Kyrie. So I think a lot of people stay away from Irving, and to your point, Harden. I think a lot of the ownership might float to Curry Lillard, at least more than Kyrie Harden. But
what do you do with Fred VanVleet? We talked about it in the last podcast. He's been one of the more inconsistent players for us in DFS this year. And then he goes back-to-back, 61, 63, 33, 39 actual. Great matchup tonight against Minnesota.
Great matchup.
Great letdown spot, potentially, for Fred VanVleet in lineups here. But, I mean, if you're making lineups tonight, if you're making a couple of them, you got to have VanVleet in your lineup at this point.
Yeah, I think it's a very good spot. I mean, Minnesota is – where do they rank defensively this year? They're actually – decent defensively, but
these aren't really fluke performances. Like he had another 2-game stretch. Actually, how about this? How hilarious is this? I just look back the last time he had 2 really good games. 1-4, 1-6. Home against Milwaukee, home against the Knicks. 65 and 55 fantasy points. His last 2 games he played at New York, at Milwaukee.
Milwaukee, that's crazy.
So he's torched the Knicks and the Bucks the last 2 times he's played them. And they played him back-to-back games both times. Weird.
That is very weird.
He also against the Knicks on 12-21, 44 fantasy points. Does he face Milwaukee a 3rd time this year?
Why does he hate the Knicks?
He's faced the Knicks 3 times, torched them all 3 times. He's faced Milwaukee twice, torched them both times.
Why does he hate the Knicks? What did the Knicks do to Fred VanVleet? I can get behind some VanVleet in tournaments.
Yeah, I agree.
Very good pace up spot for.
Listen, we want the 20 to 28 shot VanVleet, not the 12, 10, and 8 shot VanVleet. So
yes, agreed.
And I think the Raptors want that too. The Raptors need him to be more offensive, focused here, and not deferring to Barnes and OG, who have been good, but VanVleet is definitely a guy that can run this team. So love him. Other mid-tier guys that I think today is a really good guard. Like, you can play most of these guards, right? Mm-hmm. Poole, you can play. Russell, you can play. Smart, you can play, especially if there's no Jaylen Brown. Simons, you can play. Maxi's been okay, but, could probably get there in tournaments. Brogdon, if there's no Jaylen Brown, you can get to. Derek White with no Jaylen Brown, I think you can play. So you can play almost every guard on the slate here today, it feels like.
I'm probably, if I were to be out on one, it's D'Angelo Russell. Until he's like 6K, I don't know. He's just not doing it for me. He is, even with guys out, it's Anthony Edwards, like just being so ball dominant, and then it's everyone else.
Sure. Yeah. Again, I mean, the recent shot attempts definitely worrisome. He had a good stretch there where he was taking 15 or so shots, but 8, 11, 8, not really.
And this is like all centered around like trade conversation too. It's like, why?
Yeah.
Is that correlated now that the trade rumors are swirling again? Like, I don't know.
It took forever for Seth Curry to get there against San Antonio.
It did take so long.
But he did get there. He's 54. He's playing the minutes without KD, it seems like. I'd be fine. I'd be fine going back to Seth if you want.
Yeah, I don't necessarily love the price, but like I'd be okay.
He's a shooter, right? So like
he is a shooter, but like we are dead in the water if the shots don't fall at 54. Because the 7 rebounds is much more of an anomaly. That was the most rebounds he's had all year. So like he needs to make shots to get there.
Yep. Shooting guard position. JB's at 9K. If he's in, I'm in. I'll play him against Golden State. That's fine. Anthony Edwards, 8,900. Again, same feeling. Only 17 shots yesterday, kind of disappointing. There was a close game, too. So, like, I don't really know why, Minnesota's offense, you look at 25 total shots between Edwards and D'Angelo last night. Like, you got to be, those guys got to be taking more shots than that. So, I know Jokic had a really good game against
the offense was flowing through Anderson, McDaniels, and Naz Reid.
What did McDaniels end up doing last night?
He had a big game.
18 points.
He had a big game.
Yeah, his PRA was 20.5 yesterday, and it was one of like
almost got there with points alone.
Yeah. So, okay. So, anyways, definitely can go there. Play Clay because he's cheaper than Poole, but if you want to be different, play Poole. Gary Trent still in play. Guy went for 44.
He's been incredible.
Again, play overtime or not overtime, they're playing 40 minutes. These guys. So, you definitely can play some Gary Trent at 66. I don't love OG, but it's a good matchup for OG if you want to go. Yep. We talked small forwards against Minnesota for 5 years. Feels like. Can certainly play it out. Royce O'Neal at 57. If you want to go there, bad game against San Antonio, but a lot of the guys on the Knicks had bad games. I mean, again, the Nets had bad games against San Antonio, so
yeah, they played everybody too. Yeah. Like I think without Kyrie out, they just don't have a rotation. So like all 12, 13 guys played. Sure. So I think that should be getting back to normal tonight.
Damian Lee, if no Chris Paul, or to Damian Lee anyways? How do you think that plays out?
Yeah, I mean, they rolled Shamet out, huh?
Did we miss that? I guess so. I guess we missed that.
Yeah, he is out. Okay, so then we have to circle back. We didn't talk about Saban Lee at point guard.
Okay. Does Saban Lee play if Chris Paul's in?
He'll maybe be their backup, because if there's no Shamet, they're not playing Dwayne Washington anymore. I think we have to pay attention to the Saban Lee, Dwayne Washington thing.
10 o'clock game too, which is tough. We may or may not know. So
we may not know. We may get an injury report throughout the day that states Chris Paul's out. Hopefully, sure. I feel like Phoenix has been pretty good with their injury report. If Chris Paul's out, I'm probably going to play Saban. $3,200.
Yeah, $3,200. You'll be able to double stack top guys here. So
only way I would play Dwayne Washington is if there was a fire. At 5K, if he's just like suddenly out of their rotation, like he went from playing 24 minutes every game to not playing at all.
Yeah, I feel like that way about Jalen Noel, right? He's finally like playing 22 minutes a night. We're like, hey, he's good, and then all of a sudden like 14. You're like, what happened?
With guys out, like what are we doing?
Yeah. Anybody else here? Shooting guard?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Small forward position. JT at 10-8. Certainly can play that if you want. 71 fantasy points. I don't know if you saw his post-game comments after the Charlotte game. Did you hear that at all? So they asked him about if he knew he was on pace for 51, on pace for 50. He said he did. He said the last time he got close to 50, they tried to get him the ball at the end of the game. It was against Miami. He finished with 49. They got the rebound. They went to go give him the basketball, and he waved it off. He said, no, I've scored 50 before. I'm good. He said after that game, he got a phone call from Jamal Crawford, and Jamal Crawford told him, if you ever have a chance to get 50, you get 50. And that was the end of the conversation. So He said he was aware that he was closing in on 50, and the entire time, all he thought about was what Jamal Crawford called him and told him after that game, and he got 51. So
That's hilarious.
Yeah. He said, Jamal Crawford said, nobody will remember that you had 49 points. Everybody will remember your 50-point games. If you get close to 50, you get 50. So that's what Jamal Crawford's out there giving to the young guys.
Shout out Jay Crossover.
Yeah, Jay Crossover out there calling guys around. You get 50 if you get a chance. So $10,800 for JT. You can certainly run it there if you want. Really struggled against Golden State in Golden State. Just 6 of 21 shooting.
Everyone did though, right? So. That game was a wash for.
It was a long road trip, for Boston in there too on the West Coast. So kind of wore them all down. They lost to the Lakers. I think they lost to the Clippers. It was just a bad road trip that time. Scotty Barnes, mid-tier, keeps going. Another 45 fantasy points.
Awesome.
Great spot against Minnesota. Can certainly run there. Other mid-tier guys for you? I mean, Bridges, Harris, Wiggins.
Sure.
Thoughts on that group?
Love Bridges if Chris Paul doesn't play. I know Cam Johnson's coming back, but that's not going to impact Bridges really at all. Cam Johnson's going to be limited. He hasn't played since November 4th, so he's missed 2.5 months. He's not going to play, and they already announced he was going to be limited. So I love Bridges. He's been awesome lately. 68's expensive, but they've needed the production, and he's come through 3 of his last 4 games. That one Denver game, back-to-back, getting the hottest team in the NBA. It is what it is type of thing. Throw that out the window. Love Bridges. Toby's interesting. I don't know if he's going to go 26, 6, and 5 again. That seems more of an anomaly, but he's been pretty consistent. I think 6,100 is a fine price tag. Wiggins, love to see under 6K. Not going to lie. Love seeing Wiggins under 6K. The minutes are up. And I just think it's been a slow progression to get back to where he was before the injury, or the illness, I should say. Mm-hmm. So I can get there, but how do you not want to just play Kyle Anderson right now?
Right.
The guy has been, I don't know. The reason they're in that Denver game is because Point slow-mo is almost back-to-back triple-doubles. We just said yesterday, probably not going to triple-double again, but he can. And then he almost does. He's been incredible. So as long as,
and we've noticed that Anderson can be this type of guy. One of our biggest complaints generally is that he's boring. But he's boring.
Oh, he's so boring.
These low end near triple double numbers, but when he gives you triple
with
doubles,
8 shots, with 8 shots,
yeah. Because what was our complaint? He took 12 shots. We're we need to see it again, not 2 for 2, 2 for 4, 6 of 10, 6 of 12. Keep shooting, Kyle. You'll be worthy. So
and Gobert off the floor obviously helps him in the rebound department too.
Yes, big time. TJ came through for us, 24 minutes. You'd like to see more minutes, but at least 2 of the 3 games at OKD, he's actually shot the ball well here. So,
yeah, it feels kind of where he's going to settle in, right? This 24 to 28 minute mark. So,
and if they were more competitive in that game, maybe he would have been on the floor for longer. So,
True.
We'll see. We always talk Josh Hart. He's under 5K here.
Whoa!
What?
Under 5K?
Oh, I thought you said I was missing somebody. Yeah, under 5K.
No, that's kind of. I mean, I know he was bad, and Nasser Little's back, and
he didn't really kill his minutes. I mean, sort of killed his minutes, but he's still playing 29. He's not playing 20. So
that's interesting. 4,900.
Yep. Yep. DDV also under 5K here. Getting hit.
Yep, he's a good rotational piece for them.
I mean, Grant Williams had a good game against Charlotte. I don't know if we're gonna run back to Grant Williams here.
I'd run back to
Jaylen Brown participating in morning shoot around. So JB's playing. JB's gonna play today.
It's not 100%, but it's a very good chance.
Practice yesterday, short shoot around today.
Very, very good chance he plays.
Very good chance he plays.
So no on Grant then, because he's out.
Yeah, and probably no on Brogdon then, because the
minutes are gonna
tank probably.
Which also it hurts everybody. It hurts Brown, it hurts White, it hurts Brogdon, it hurts Williams.
Yep.
I think I would go also Jaden McDaniels. I'd play him if there's no Gobert.
Mm-hmm. Anybody else in the mid tier do? What would Torian do? 31 minutes.
Torian Prince was going to be the guy that I mentioned. Torian Prince has been good. He's very cheap, and they're just playing him. I think Naz Reid was in foul trouble. Luka Garza was in foul trouble last night. Like both their centers, and
which I figured would happen against Jokic. I was worried about that last night.
I mean, Naz was still really good.
Yeah,
he still had 28 fantasy points, 49. Like no complaint, or 4,800. No complaints there. Just
Joker had a Joker stat line last night.
Yeah, he was Jokic. So I would go back to Torian Prince for sure.
Yeah. Anybody else? Is that a Ron Harper Jr.? Jeez, kind of looks like his dad.
Yeah, it does look like his dad.
I played 5 minutes. I'm just I always laugh looking at these NBA sons that we've seen. Little's 3K. Would you?
No.
Okay.
No, he's not in the rotation enough for. I don't think he played 12 minutes last game.
Okay. Power forward here, guys. We've talked about already, but you got Ben Simmons at 71. We were all in on Ben Simmons without Kyrie Irving. 52 fantasy points, 10, 11, 10. 4 of 10 shooting, 2 blocks, 4 steals, all the way up to $7,100 now. So
most importantly, the minutes.
Yeah,
were great. He's the only one that played like consistent. Him and Claxton.
I think you can still play him at 7,100.
I agree.
Because you called it out, right? He said after that game where he took 3 shots against Boston, he needs to be more involved offensively, right? And I know Kyrie was out; he took 10 shots, but if Kyrie comes back, Simmons still involved offensively, and if nothing else, rebounds and assists are going to be there. Defensive stats should be there.
Yep.
So I'm okay going 7,100 here for Ben Simmons. That's fine.
Same.
Jeremy Grant, fine again, 6,900. Not exciting. This tier isn't really exciting. Grant, Harris, you can play them if you want. You'll get. They won't give you a 0, right? They won't bottom out for you. They'll give you some decent production. I don't really know. Go back to Jalen McDaniels. It's not a great spot against Toronto, but Jaden McDaniels, Naz Reid.
Yep. I'd play them both. If Naz is starting 100%, he's going to be the chalkiest player of the slate. I'd play Draymond, 6K. He's coming off his best scoring performance. 40. He had 17 actual. 17, 10, 6, and 3 steals.
Yeah.
He's been good lately. Mentioned all these other guys.
Sarge played 23 minutes against Memphis, but probably blowout run there.
They're also getting Cam J back, so it's going to be
Cam J back. Plus we said already, Torian Prince's.
I mean it's Naz Reid if everyone's out.
All right. JoJo against Portland here, 11K. 11K, cheapest. I guess he was 11K the other day. 11.3 last slate, but 11K here.
I mean, he's nuts.
Yep.
He's going to give you 30 actual, and then it just depends on what else comes with it.
Yeah. We talked about Siakam. Numbers not really paying off the tag. If it's no Gobert, this is just another really great spot for him. I'm not going to say no on a small slate at 9,700, but you definitely want to see. He can't have ceiling games when VanVleet's having ceiling games.
Yep. And Scotty Barnes, everyone's
Trent Barnes and everybody's going for 50. Siakam can't go for 50. So tournaments, you can play him. It could be his night.
Yep.
We certainly can do that. Claxton or Ayton, pick your center in this matchup.
Oh boy. Nick Claxton has been insane. He was in first half foul trouble. He fouled out, still gave us 44 fantasy points, had 4 blocks and a double-double.
Yeah, he had all those blocks in the second half. I bet it's over 3.5 blocks and steals, and I was kicking myself unbelievable. This is going to be the game against San Antonio where he doesn't do it. Block party second half.
Yeah, I mean it's hard. It's hard not to go Claxton. I think Ayton will be a little contrarian going up against someone that people probably view as the defensive player of the year candidate. So. I like Claxton a little bit more. Ayton's contrarian though.
Okay. Nurkic's just forever probable, but we're not going to really go up against him against Embiid. Could have another ceiling minute game out of Robert Williams here. 29 minutes against Brooklyn. Hasn't played less than 27 in 3 games. Hasn't been the Rob Williams
No.
peak yet, but I mean, like, any day now, right? Like, and soon he could get there. So I'm fine. I'm fine still playing some Rob Will at this price. He's not unreasonable at all. Al Horford tends to get up for these games. If you want to go different, right? Like, big moment for Big Al against Golden State. I think you could possibly go. He did not play against Golden State in that first game. That was one of the back-to-back sits for him. So I think you could run Horford here as a contrarian play.
Yeah, it's a contrarian play. That's fine. There's not a lot left at center anyway.
I was saying, Looney probably for rebounds. They'll have him on the floor.
I'm interested. I don't even know how their rotation worked because they played as my dog just wants to be let out of the room and is crying.
Scratching the door. Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
Tell Amy we'll build a lineup shortly and she can get out of the room.
Yeah, true. I'm interested to see how the Warriors continue to use their rotation because everyone, like DiVincenzo played 27 minutes, Wiggins played 32, Poole played 35. Like, it just always feels like Looney's going to be the guy left out.
Yeah, they moved Draymond to the 5, but I don't know if they can move Draymond to the 5 here with Williams and Horford. So,
yeah,
I think Looney's going to be on the floor for this game.
Yeah, could be.
And then Achua, 26 minutes. Over 20 fantasy points now in 3 of the last 4. At least 18 fantasy points in 5 straight. He's under 4K. So.
Yeah, I wish he had power forward eligibility.
Yeah, I know.
Really,
or at least give Siakam power forward eligibility. But
I know that's the problem, right? Like, one of those two guys should have forward eligibility, and they don't. But I do agree, Precious. He's going to probably be pretty popular.
He's a good player. I mean, he's just stuck in a weird team, right? That they just wasn't a good fit. But everybody likened him to Baby Bam when he was drafted by Miami. So we'll see. But
Jaylen Brown officially listed questionable, by the way.
Yeah,
they just put that out.
Got that update. So I don't mind Chua as a little punt play there against Minnesota, especially if it's Naz Reid tonight. He just matches up better in that spot. And you said Luka Garza was the backup center, right? So 17 minutes for him. Would you play Luka Garza at 3K if Gobert's out?
Yeah, he was good last night. I said it, like, he's a pretty good fantasy point per minute guy. He stretches the floor. And the caveat is Naz Reid isn't exactly.
Who was the guy that married Kardashian for like 15 minutes?
Chris Humphries.
Does he? He reminds me a little Chris Humphries.
Chris Humphries. He is a little Chris Humphries.
He can rebound. He can score. He doesn't really do much else. But like a guy that can play 20-25 minutes a night. I think.
Yeah, if Naz Reid gets in foul trouble, Luka Garza is going to play a handful of minutes. We saw last night. Got in foul trouble. Garza plays 17 minutes and scored 16 actual. So, as an absolute dart in a large field tournament, don't hate it.
Okay, build our lineup tonight. Who are we starting with? Embiid, Lillard, or Tatum? Where are we going?
I was going to say we start with like value on like Taurean Prince or something, or like just
Kyle Anderson.
Yeah, just like guys like that are. We can just build around.
VanVleet?
I mean, I don't know what to do about point guard because I love Curry, I love Lillard, I love Kyrie, and I like Harden, and I like VanVleet. So like I'm fine going VanVleet. Perfectly fine doing it.
If we went VanVleet, Anderson, and Embiid, we have 5K a player.
Yeah, that works.
Or if we go Lillard at the guard, VanVleet, Anderson, Lillard, it's 53 a play.
Nah, let's do Embiid. Put Embiid in the util because then we could play like Precious at center. If we wanted to
Precious,
punt.
Rob Will, Naz Reid, probably Naz Reid, right?
Well, I think the good thing about Naz Reid is we have flexibility where we can use him at power forward or forward.
Okay, Reid at power forward. We'll go Precious at center.
Because that could put Embiid's in the 10 o'clock window anyway, so that gives us the only thing about Naz Reid is he's not playable if Gobert plays.
Sure.
Not. I shouldn't say that. He's not playable, but like he is definitely playable. But it's obviously.
I would be surprised if Gobert played. He got hurt, played 5 minutes, missed the game, and now they're on a back-to-back. It's been
with a groin, yeah.
And it's a groin injury that he hurt against Cleveland on the 14.
Yeah.
right? And then missed a day because they didn't play, didn't practice, tried to come back, immediately re-injured it. It feels like he'd be ruled out today.
Yeah, it does. It does feel like that.
All right, so VanVleet, Anderson, Reed, Achua, and Embiid gives us 56, 57 a play for shooting guard, guard, and forward. So some mid-tier guys that we were in on here.
Nothing at shooting guard that I see.
Yeah, there really is not a lot of shooting guard. I mean,
there was good forward value. If I
what was Landry just a guard, a guard, point guard only? Yeah. Oh, not Landry. Saban Lee was a guard.
point guard only, yeah, 3,200.
I don't know. I mean, that helps us kind of readjust. So let's get rid of Kyle Anderson then.
What are we getting rid of Kyle Anderson for?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out.
No, Kyle Anderson's awesome.
VanVleet is not a shooting guard eligible player. Let's see. We have 57 to play, so we could double up VanVleet and Trent, Klay Thompson. Could go. I mean, 3 Minnesota guys. Let's see here.
I don't hate. I feel like that Boston Golden State game is gonna go.
I mean, Smart is eligible.
It's gonna go overlooked. Yeah, Smart's. I think he's probably too expensive, right? With JV back.
Seth Curry is
potentially back.
Seth Curry at 54.
You like that more than me. I don't hate the Seth Curry play, but if he just doesn't make shots, 54 is very hard to get to.
Yeah, I just don't think they're gonna have anybody really defending. So I mean, it's possible. All right, let's maybe move. Well, you like. Is JoJo just a hang up here? Maybe he's just too expensive.
We could go Lillard. We can go Curry. We can go.
If we get off that, we go. Lillard gives us 6K a play if we go Lillard over Embiid.
Would you rather play Taurean Prince than Kyle Anderson?
Would you play? You play.
I kind of want to play Kyle Anderson.
Yeah, so do I. Let's see here. 6K a play, shooting guard, forward, and utility. Do we have under? What was our other double center that we had? We have Reed, Achua,
Claxton
at 74. Would you play Claxton or Simmons?
Ooh.
Probably Ben, right?
I'd play either of them. Claxton's been a little better, but
we can play Simmons at forward. What if we did? It just works out better for me this way. All right, so this is what I have with no money left over. VanVleet, Seth Curry, Kyle Anderson, Naz Reid, Achua, Lillard, Simmons, and Robert Williams.
That's fine. You and I are split on the Curry thing. I think he's too expensive, but it's the last piece in type of deal, and there's not like a lot of other options at shooting guard. Yeah.
And stuff could open up, right? If Paul gets ruled out, we can move guys into different spots, right?
Right.
We have a 3K utility, and we can switch around. So let's just check that out. Say Paul gets ruled out, Saban League goes into utility at 32. That gives us a $7,700 shooting guard. We can play Klay Thompson, right?
Yep.
So we can move it around if we have to go that way. But at least for now, we'll run out Rob Will at 55 there. So VanVleet, Curry, Anderson, Reed, Achua, Lillard, Simmons, and Robert Williams, the example lineup for 4 games. I believe Ray is on the playbook today. We'll be in the Discord if you have any questions, and we'll be on Twitter as well. We will catch you guys later.